Hey, my name's Joel from the Traveler Toolkit here at my private campsite, ready to clean things up with a brand new tool that I went in search of just specifically for this task. So I've got several handheld chainsaws, things like that, but around here we have a lot of sticks that are not very big, maybe about this big, but they're super long and they need to be broken down so they can be thrown into a fire pit or into a lawn bag. So I found this little guy from WORX. This is a handheld, I'm going to say garden trimmer, pruning shear, lopper that runs on the 20-volt power share system. Now I've got like 5 other tools that run on these batteries, so I have probably 6 of these batteries laying around. I've got lots of chargers, and I thought this was a perfect fit for the job. So today in this video, we're going to be demoing this little tool. We'll see how well it does, and I'll give you my honest feedback on whether or not this one is worth your money. Ugh. All right, here it is, our pile of sticks. And honestly, this is a great place for snakes to live, so you got to watch out. But this is the kind of branch I'm talking about. I got to break this down a little bit. And so let's see how well these little loppers do. The key is you have to hold this safety down. You'll get a green light up top, and then you can pull the trigger and they will go. And your finger kind of controls it. In they go down, out they come out. Pretty responsive. Pretty quick. You can kind of see these little gears working. Already I'm impressed with the responsiveness. Let's see how they do on this branch. Let's start with the small one. Well, that was no problem. Bigger one. No problem at all there either. Wow. Let's try it on the biggest part of this branch. Wow, took it down. And now we've got a little stick. Let's keep going. See how quick I can trim these. Boy, this is kind of addicting. Don't want to get your thumb caught in here. I mean, look at that. I just cleaned that branch off in like 30 seconds. And now, just chop it down. Keep chopping this down. Man. I'm really impressed so far. Let's go on to some bigger stuff. Okay, obviously the determining factor of whether or not it's too big is going to be whether or not it fits into these jaws, but no problem on these larger size branches. It's getting bigger. That's no problem. That's probably the biggest we've tried so far. Ready? No problem at all. Here's a good example of something that I would normally get out like a little hatchet for. This is just a scrub brush that needs to be cleaned up. Scrub bush. I'm just gonna lop off the bottom here, one at a time. And we can kind of clear this area pretty quick. I like it. And here's an example of something I would normally probably do with a handheld saw or a chainsaw. This is hanging into the campsite. It's still on the tree, it's alive. But with these, all I have to do is just chop them off, and then I can go through and chop these up into little bits and throw them in the fire once they dry out. More of the same right here. Little branches we're just going to cut down to keep this area nice and clean. All right, if you can't tell, I'm already pretty impressed with these. This is about 10 or 15 minutes of clipping, and these things are great. In fact, I stopped myself about 5 minutes in and said, you got to be careful because they're so easy to use, so easy to go back and forth. You could easily chop a finger off. If you were moving fast around a branch, man, you could take a finger off with these really quick. So I'm going to put a little warning on this review that you need to be really careful because they're super easy to get going. And once you get that hand resting back here on the safety, you could easily take off a piece of a finger. So please be careful with that. But this ergonomics, the ergonomics of this handle, it makes sense. And look how responsive. Partial trigger, and it doesn't go all the way down. Full trigger, it does. That's pretty impressive. I mean, you can see the little gears that are working there. Yeah, it just seems like it's going to work for a long time. Now you do want to keep this lubricated. It came with a little lubrication around these gears. I don't know what kind of grease they recommend. That's probably in the manual, but I would make sure you keep these lubricated as you're using them. It'll just help them to work for a long time, but these are super sharp up front. Look at those jaws. Yeah, and as long as you don't push it and try to cut things that are way too big for these, I think they'll last for a long time. So let's find some more live branches. I got a spider on my hat. Live branches to trim off, get this area nice and clean, and then we'll be done for the day. Much quicker than I would have been with pruning shears or anything else by myself. This one's dead. Just trim these off easier. Then we start at the other end. Trim it as we go. Yeah, then I can just go pick up all the little tiny sticks on the ground. I'm done. Or just throw them on the ground. Here's some branches that are going to catch me in the face when I'm on the lawnmower. Just cut those off right here in hand. Yeah. And I can grab the ends of these and just kind of pull them down and cut them short so that when they're back up, they're out of the way of my head. Nice. I'm feeling so organized. This is probably the biggest one that I've cut so far. Let me show you here. Cutting at the end. Yeah, it's just on the edge of what you can cut, but still does it pretty good. And I will tell you, we are not running through battery very quickly. I've been doing all this trimming. I started out of the box, did not charge this. We had 3 bars of battery. Now we have 2. So seems like this battery is going to last a long time. We've been out here trimming for quite a while and still have 2 bars of battery left. That's impressive. So what more can I say about these? They either work or they don't work. And this brand works. No pun intended. I really do like WORX, the brand. Have several other yard tools of theirs, the handheld chainsaw, the trimmer, the blower, a shop vac, a lot of screwdrivers, little things like that. I really haven't had one that I've been disappointed with yet, and this one is no exception. So if you're looking for something to make your yard work easier, to make it more fun, to make cleanup quicker, then check out these little hand pruners, 20-volt power share version from WORX. You might really like them.